Hey everybody, and welcome to The Breakthrough Effect. I'm your host, Jerrid Sebesta. I've had two successful careers. First, I was an award-winning TV meteorologist and then a financial marketing strategist. I was living the dream, making good money, but inside I was craving for something more, something bigger. So I stopped deferring life and I started creating exactly the life I was searching for. I doubled down on unlearning old mindsets and creating big breakthroughs for me and my family. And now I'm bringing that same transformation to you. Let's understand the rules of this game. Let's get clarity. Let's stop chasing and start becoming. This is the Breakthrough Effect. All right, so let me ask you a question. Do you actually think that you have the ability to create breakthrough, to create doors to open, to create networking opportunities, to create business deals that, quote, come out of nowhere? How much control do you think that you have over your own future or your own destiny? There's something I talk about a lot. I'll say oftentimes from stage many times, I'll say, I think our lives are more choreographed than what we think, but at the very same time, I think that we have more power of choice to choose our own destiny and our future than what we are led to believe as well. So there's this strange duality that we live in that gives us the power to make choices. If we know the right buttons to push and the right levers to pull, we can actually create opportunities or breakthrough to happen. I believe that this is possible. So I'm going to spend today's show and talk about what I call the breakthrough equation. And it's made up of three very specific components. And I think if you can understand these and execute these and exhibit these in your life, you will see things happen in your life. You will see breakthrough. You will see doors that open. You will see coincidences that aren't coincidences. You will see business opportunities. People will come into your movie. Things will come into your movie that will actually help you create the future that you want. So if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you need, if that's what you're desiring, then you have come to the right place. So this equation, I'm calling it the breakthrough equation. It's made up of three components or three variables. The very first one is desire. Desire. What is desire? Well, your desire is your hunger. It's how bad you want it. It's the fervor. It's the grit. It's the determination. It's the passion. It's that burning inside that wants more. It wants a new job, a new career. It wants to be more fulfilled. It wants your life to be more in alignment. You maybe can sense a different life on the other side of this magical door that's preventing you from stepping into your destiny or a life that's more aligned. You maybe see other people that are doing things that you want to do. They have platforms. They've written books. Maybe they're out there just living the dream, so to speak, and they're in perfect alignment with who they are. It seems like they're having so much fun. They're making money and they're having impact, and you're kind of stuck, and you feel like you're stuck in mediocre. I know what that feels like, but you have to want it first. This is such an important factor. I often say that desire will trump talent, all right? Desire will override talent. Deficiencies in your own talent and your own abilities, you can overcome those with a desire, with a hunger. I played college basketball for a number of years for two different schools, and oftentimes people would come into the program, and these guys would be so talented. I can think of a few specifically. They were so talented that their giftings were incredible. They'd be tall and lean and can shoot and can dribble, but many times they didn't have the heart. They didn't have the desire. They didn't have the fervor. And you can make up ground against other people because of your own desire. There's something so powerful about this word desire. In fact, I'm just going to take it back biblically for just a second. Think of David, how powerful he was. How did God describe David in the Bible? He said, he's a man after my own heart. There was a desire to go and pursue. The Bible also says, seek and you will find. What's the overrunning or the underlying thing there? It's desire. It's the hunger for more. So do a little self-inventory. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your desire? What is your hunger and your fervor and your fight for more? Is it a burning desire, a 10 out of 10? Or is it an 8, maybe a 5, maybe a 1? If it's not a burning 10 out of 10 all the time, I would challenge you to check yourself on that A and figure out a way to reconnect with who you are, to reconnect to your why, to reconnect to your soul, to reinitiate the dream, to get refired up again, maybe again or perhaps for the first time for the dream, for the connection, for the most optimal life that you desire, connect with that, and then maybe ask for more desire. Pray, meditate, ask the world to give you more desire. I think this world can work with a desire to have more desire, but at the end of the day, you must have desire. The second component to the breakthrough equation is belief. We have to combine our desire with our belief. Now, there's two different parts to belief. There's belief in yourself, and there's belief in your cause. Let's start with the second one first. As you pursue a more connected life, a life undeferred, as you maybe build a business or you start to create that dream job or the side gig or you're starting to envision yourself in a new career path or business path or new opportunities for your business, you have to believe in your cause. You have to believe that the business that you are producing, the services that you're offering, the life that you're stepping into where your superpowers are being exemplified into this world, that is a worthy thing that will change this world and your fellow man. All right? And I'm just going to tell you, after talking with people and coaching people and sharing this stuff from stage, a lot of people don't have a problem with that. They are so aligned where they're chasing a worthy cause and they know that they are the person to do it. But the other side of that other side of that coin is your belief in yourself. And this is the one that oftentimes takes a little bit of a hit. This is the one where people need to work on. This is where people get caught in imposter syndrome. This is the one where people don't view themselves as powerful as they should. They've got the desire. They've got the belief in the cause or the service or the business that they're providing, but they have a less than a 10 out of 10 belief in themselves. And I would just challenge you to check yourself on that. You don't need it to be a 10 out of 10 to move forward. It just needs to be enough for you to overcome any limiting thoughts, any self-disbelief, any imposter syndrome. But I got to tell you, as my belief in self goes up, my fear goes down. So if you are struggling with your own self-belief, do a self-check on the amount of fear that you're letting yourself embody. And here's a little side nugget on fear, by the way. Fear will never go away. I always thought once I got to a certain level, fear will go away. And as I've gotten to know people who are super successful and are way ahead of me in the business and life game, it never goes away, nor should it. That's by design, by the way. And that's another podcast for another day. But we always must have a worthy opponent to conquer. God never takes away our fear completely. He asks us to rise above it. Think of it like a vertical scale. Fear will always be in the equation. It's just way down there. And as my belief goes up, the further vertically away I get from the fear. It's kind of like when you're flying on an airplane, right? You look out the window and you look down and all the activity, there's a lot going on down there, but it's way down there and I'm way up here. We have to maintain our level of consciousness and our thoughts. Not that that fear is never out of the equation. It's just our self-belief is always rising above it. Think of it too like a weighted scale. Remember in science class, you'd have the seesaw scale, and you'd put different weights on each side. And as one goes up, one goes down. As your self-belief goes up, your fear will always go down. But as your consciousness slips or you get kicked in the teeth or a business deal goes bad or something happens, maybe externally, that fear will creep up just a little bit. And as it goes up, your self-belief will always go down. These two things will always counterbalance each other every single time. So if you are struggling in the world of self-belief, self-check on where your fear is. How much are you letting fear dictate your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions? Put those in check and your self-belief will naturally rise. All right. So the first two components of this equation is desire plus belief. The third component is, I don't want to say it's the most important, but it's this is where it starts to get magical. This is where now you bring in kind of the mystical forces of the spiritual, all right? And not to get woo-woo on you guys, but there is something so powerful about this third component of this equation. It's desire plus belief minus attachment. Minus attachment. It's all of that minus the attachment to the outcome. What do I mean by that? It's a surrender to whatever happens. It's where you let go and you just trust, you believe, and you have faith. All right? And so there's this strange duality that we have to live in, where our belief is a burning 10 out of 10. Our belief is a burning 10 out of 10. But at the very same time, our attachment to what happens, we have to completely take our hands off and trust and believe and surrender. A lot of people that listen to shows like this, a lot of people that are into personal development and building, they're grinders. They're filled with grit. Working is not a problem. Work ethic, not a problem. Staying up late and just grinding away, not a problem. You know what we struggle with? It's the letting go. It's the release of what happens. You want it, you desire it, you want it, but I don't have to have it. And that is where the magic, kind of the secret sauce comes into play on this equation. If you followed me, you know I do a morning gratitude walk. There's a number of mantras and prayers I say to myself when I do this. One of those is, Jerrid, you have everything. You have everything. I don't say I have enough. I say I have everything. And what I'm trying to do by saying that statement is it's more of a statement or a prayer of surrender. I have everything. No matter what happens today, if I get or I gain, or it doesn't matter, because I have everything. And so that's me trying to embody this idea of surrender and losing attachment to all the outcomes. I've got sales calls on the schedule today. There's business deals that I want to make and close. I want them. My desire is high. My belief that I'm the guy and I can do it is high. And if I get it, awesome. And if I don't get it, amazing, because I already have everything. That's one practical way that you can exhibit this idea of losing attachment to the outcome. Another one is rest. Rest. How ironic that one of the major components to breaking through is actually pulling back and resting. Again, if you listen to the things I teach and preach, if you've worked with me, this is a concept I talk a lot about because it's a cheat code. It is a rest day. It's a biblical Sabbath. And regardless of what you believe spiritually, what religion you subscribe to, this power, this technology is available to everybody. But in Genesis, it talks about how God worked for 6 days and then he rested on the seventh. That is a model of how we are to work and operate. We are not designed to grind 7 days a week. Logically, it would make sense that if we work for 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 20 hours a day, that we will get further ahead. And that is actually the opposite. It actually works in the opposite. That does not mean that we do not work for 6 days. No, we're going to push and we're going to grind and we're going to send the emails and we're going to market and we're going to build and we're going to create and we're going to problem solve and we're going to do all of the things with high levels of desire and belief. And then for one day, we're going to relax and trust and believe. I'm going to take this a step further, not to get too deep into this, but there's something significant about that number 7. Okay, now you can call me a little woo-woo for this, but 7 is a number of completion. It's complete. You build the container for 6 days, and you build it hard, and then on the 7th day you release and you relax and you trust and surrender, and you let this world, this universe, God, whatever you call he, she, or it, you let him do the rest. And I got to tell you, there's something so powerful in this technology that when people start latching onto this and understanding it, that's when they see breakthrough. That's when they see breakthrough. It's, I'm going to push as hard as I can. I'm going to exhaust the system, but at the very same time, I'm going to disassociate with the outcome. That doesn't mean suppress. That means surrender. In fact, I'm going to exhibit that by detaching from technology, my work, my email for a day. We don't need 2 days, just one really, really good day. You do that for one day. What you're telling this universe is that, you know what? It's better for me to let go for a day than to keep pressing in. And then you let the divine step in and supernaturally put fire, put rocket fuel into the equation, and it takes you to the next level further than what you could have ever done if you'd work all those days. This is the simplest framework that I can give you to create breakthrough in your life. Very simple equation, 3 parts: desire plus belief minus attachment. Give it a try. If this conversation sparks something in you, don't let it fade. Please rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. Don't forget to connect with me online as well. Follow me at Jerrid Sebesta on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, or dive deeper at my website, JerridSebesta.com, where all my free trainings and resources are waiting for you. And remember, stop chasing the life you want and start becoming. This is the Breakthrough Effect. We'll see you next time.